I've been smooth for so long, I'm trying to get rough. Ambitious, 14-year-old. Grades going down as I'm stacking up zeros.
All of these songs can be found on Jack Harlow's new album with Jackman. Why did Jack Harlow seemingly build a whole album around soul-esque samples? I found 3 reasons why, and they will seriously help you level up your production. Make sure you stick around till the end because some of them will blow your mind. Reason number 1 why Jack Harlow's obsessed with soul samples is obviously the nostalgia. Soul music has been around for decades, and many people associate a certain era or time in their life with the music. In interviews, we can see Jack Harlow has a personal connection to soul music, either through his own experiences or maybe through a family member. But the question now is, how can I recreate that nostalgic feeling but without using samples? And I'm gonna show you just how I did that. For everyone that's not into music theory, don't worry, I have a crazy trick coming up. Stay tuned for that. But before we get into that, we gotta talk a little bit about theory. To create that sense of nostalgia, we wanna use simple chord progressions like the 1-4-5 and the 1-6-4-5. Right here, I have the 1-4-5. We're gonna inverse this real quick, and this is how it sounds like. To make it thicker, copy the chords, paste them, and go 1 octave down. The next step we want to do is using suspended chords like the sus2 or sus4 to create some tension. We do this by taking these middle notes and either moving them down or moving them up. This would be a sus2 right now, and this right here would be a sus4. Let's go for this. Our next step would be extending the chord with 7ths, 9ths or 11ths to make it more sound either more tense, elegant or smoother. To do this, we just keep going 2 up. So right now this would be a 7th, 9th, 11th. And then we can just listen. 9th are usually more tense. Maybe 11. Something like this. What we could also do to add more tension is adding notes that are out of key. Right here, we would have our 5th chord, the G major, and now we can just move this one down, and we get a G dominant minor. This note is out of key, obviously, but because it's out of key, it's gonna add a lot of tension, and it also wants to resolve to this one back really bad. There's a cool little trick you can do to randomize the velocity if you don't want to use this Alt-R, which is basically just pressing Shift and R. This will select the random note. You can do this a couple of times, move the velocity down a little bit, then press Alt-R, press Ctrl-D to deselect, and then just repeat that process a couple of times. This way you will get truly randomized velocities. And now for a saucy practical tip for everybody that doesn't know music theory. If you want to improve your musicality without knowing theory, what you can do is find a sample that you like, where you like the chords, or you like the vibe of it. Something like this. What we can do next is open Scalar 2, and we can drag this right in. This will replace your current detection, that's fine. And now, as you can see right here, it pulled away all these chords. But we can change the sound right here. Maybe we want vintage keys, I don't know. Now we can press this button right here. As you can see, it's mapped this to these buttons. So right now, if I just press C on my keyboard, just the C right now, it plays a whole chord. If I play the D, plays a whole chord right here. So you can basically play super complex, intricate chords with just one button press. And then once you did this, remember the pattern and just drag it like this to the bottom right here. Or even if you don't have a keyboard, you can just copy all of them. Put them right here. Next thing we do is press MIDI capture and play. Now we press stop and we take this and we press the drag, hold this and move it to the sample. And now we have all these chords right here. This is a really powerful tool because you can just reverse engineer your favorite songs, favorite samples, just like that. And you can also use these chords to build your own samples and chords, beats, whatever. If that is still too much work for you and you only got a little bit of time to make beats or samples a day, you can also check in the elements of SoulKit. We have the craziest chord progressions in here. Just listen to this. We also got stuff like this. And stuff like this. This is one of my favorites. You also got top line melodies, so you can combine these top lines with these chord progressions and have a full MIDI that you can go off of. The next step to achieving that real nostalgic feeling is picking sounds from the past. The first plugins I'm going to show you are the Korg plugins. We have stuff like the M1, which is like one of my favorite plugins for this stuff, and it's pretty cheap. We have all kinds of like vintage sounds. We got this 70s stage EP. There's E-piano. All these keyboards are insane. Get the whirly. We got the house piano for like house music, something different, but yeah, a lot of crazy stuff in here. Another one from Korg is the Wave Station, also crazy. Has some of the most iconic sounds in here. The last one from the Korg bundle that I'm going to show you guys is the Triton. Also super iconic sounds in there. If you have Analog Lab though, I can highly recommend the Elements of Soul Analog Lab Bank. This is just a preview. It's crazy. Crazy organs, crazy sounds in here. The second reason why Jack Harlow is obsessed with soul samples is memorability. Just a couple quick examples.
And I can put you in. I've been smooth for so long, I'm trying to get rough.
What do these songs have in common? Obviously, it's the catchy vocal line. But we are trying to recreate that catchy vocal line. Before we do that though, we gotta start with the bass line of the sample. So I started out with these chords from the Elements of Soul. The E-piano is the Rhodes spinning from the Elements of Soul. And it sounds like this. Next up, we added a layer. With the M1 is the E-piano mix. Next up, we just added the bass. It's the Rickenbacker bass, just following the bass line. And now we started adding vocals. So I instantly found vocals in the Element of Soul kit. It's the Renaissance idea. I used 3 of these harmonies. So the first one I used was this one. Next one we have this. Crazy, already crazy vibe. And the next one we added as the last one. For the effects on these, as you can see, I added a low cut on all of them. For the first one, I added this bathroom effect. This is Fruity Convolver. I just turned down to dry a little bit. Panned the other one to the left, added the same reverb and added mid-side matrix, making it a little bit bigger. And the last one, panned to the right and made it a little bit bigger as well. I put all of these 3 to one bus right here. And on the bus, I have EQs, a soothe just to get rid of some frequencies and boost some frequencies. We have the chorus, 80s vocal spread, and the lexicon as the vocal slab preset. If you're looking for some of the craziest and catchiest vocal samples out right now, this is where to look. And the vocal part is only about 5% of the whole kit. You could legit buy this and you wouldn't have to buy another VST for the rest of your life when you're making soul samples. If this sounds interesting to you, you can also use my code VISIONEXE and get 20% off. You can support me through that and you obviously get the craziest sounds and 20% off. So in my book, it's a win-win. The next trick is what really levels up this sample and what makes a lot of these soul samples so usable. Reason number 3 why Jack Harlow's obsessed with soul samples is the versatility. Soul samples can be reused and reflipped so many different ways, it's kinda crazy. I'm gonna show you a ton of different ways right now. So right now I have our sample right here. We can flip this a million different ways. Just to show you real quick, we can very speed this. This is one thing we can do. We can reverse it. We can stretch it. We could also play with the signal flow or like an effects chain. And we could also chop it like this, or obviously FL Slicer, Slice X, Serato Sampler, everything. So these were some of our base techniques. Now we can combine some of them and get something completely different. Now we are combining some of these techniques to flip it into something completely new. So this is our now. So now we're gonna press F4, make a new pattern, make it as long as this, turn this off, and now we're gonna pull up Serato. You can do the same thing with Slice X and 3D Slicer. I'm just trying out Serato right now. In the bottom right here, we can find samples, slicer random. Let's just set random and try it out. You can pitch it here, you can select all and change like the filter of it. And then let's say you found a pattern, you can just keep pressing set random and your pattern is gonna change, your rhythm is just gonna stay the same. So we could set slice, and now I have it like this. You can select everything, turn down the filter maybe, we can even reverse it, we can do everything in here. So now we combine multiple of these techniques, the reversing, the chopping, the pitching, and now we can just keep continuing to do that. So we could take this right now, bounce it out, maybe add effects from effects chain, and take this again, reverse it again, and this way you can just keep flipping it until you find something that you really enjoy, that you really like, and you can take this as a base of your sample or as a base of your beat. Now you know why Jack Harlow is so obsessed with soul samples. If you want to learn Mike Dean's secret to cinematic production, you can just click here.